Certainly. So my name is Divyank Jain. I am currently in my final year of graduation from Nirma University, Ahmedabad. That's in Gujarat. I am the founder of Glimmers of Gujarat, a page where we share inspiring life stories. Currently, in my in my experience with Glimmers, it's been 2 years and we have shared over 200 stories from all across our state. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So where did that idea came from, Glimmers of Gujarat?
So when the lockdown initially began, it was the month of May 2019.
2020.
So what happened was,
2020.
yeah, right, 2020. So back in 2020 May, what happened was when the lockdown was very strong, everybody was sitting at their homes idle. When the lower class people were not able to suffice their needs, I saw headlines becoming X person is doing a suicide. It was getting very common that people are attempting suicide, trying to end their lives, trying to get out of this misery as much as possible, because it was getting very hard for them to adapt to a new culture, new situation that people were facing. So I felt a gap there. Maybe there is some need, if I was surrounded by people who were very happy, who were enjoying their online times. So there were two faces to this coin. So I felt that there is a need for people to hear stories of different kinds, right? Today, if I am in a miserable position and if I hear that somebody was here before some years and they have got out of that place and they have proved themselves wrong and got into a good place right now, then why can't I? Right. So that was our motivation to start Glimmers of Gujarat, share stories of different people from all across the state.
Oh, so your objective is to make people more happy, right? Yes. So
to make people more happy, more related.
So that startup was born during the lockdown, but right now lockdown is over. So right now, how can you make it grow?
Right now, how can I make it?
How can you make it grow? Because that's purpose of the startup was to help people during lockdown. But right now everything is open. There is no more lockdown. So right now, how can you sustain it?
So we don't have a sustainability need. People love us for what the stories we are sharing. We are planning offline events. We are in collaboration with different groups and organizations who will be distributing books wherein our stories will get published. The stories we have published on our page will get to them, to a younger audience, to a more growing, blooming audience. We'll try to capture everybody from Gujarat, be it from villages, be it from cities. Everyone will try to share more and more stories. We're trying to get physical events on the roll.
So was it your childhood dream to become an entrepreneur one day, or how did the motivation to become entrepreneur took place?
So, well, personally, I don't think entrepreneurship is something that you can dream of. You can dream of, I'll have something of my own someday. But I was introduced to the word entrepreneurship 4 years ago. And since then, I've always felt that all of my personal characteristics have been related to an entrepreneurial character of a person who, a lot of people can idolize with, be it Elon Musk or Ratan Tata or anyone for that matter. So I have a nature of being very observant. I try to figure out what kind of problems are there. I have had 2 different startup ideas that we tried and implemented. We won various competitions at. We even got it in the role in the market. We had prototyping as well, but then somehow we had to turn them down because of the timing and COVID situation and everything. But here I am fighting again for a new venture, trying to get out in that world. So yeah.
Okay. So when that idea came to your mind, how did you convince other people that this idea would work? Because in order to grow a startup, you need a team. So how did you convince other people?
Well, in the very beginning, I had one of my very good friends, Dhruvi, and we had a conversation. This problem that's persistent in the environment. How can we try and solve it? And then I said that I feel that maybe sharing out simple stories of others' life journeys can help us grow alongside. We can help others grow with this mentality and change them the thinking of your life is not miserable, man. Come on, there's a lot more to this universe and you can do it. That factor is very important for anybody to grow in any area of their lives. So we felt that need. We had brainstorming sessions. We understood, yeah, we can do it. So we were on board and we started doing it slowly and gradually. I shared forms. I shared the motive behind this idea why we want to do this. And gradually, I had people joining in with us for the good, not for the money or not for the name that they'll get from it, but only for the factor that they'll be able to help out somebody in their lives. And that's really amusing to me. And today we are a team of 6 people and we stand strong together.
Okay. So I saw that you have made it a non-profit organization. So why did you made it a non-profit? So don't you think that you can earn some money by selling your service?
Well, Glimmers of Gujarat initially was born with the idea to help, and I would like to continue with the same model at least for some time, because we are in a growing stage and we don't want people to, we don't want anybody to feel that I have to pay money to share my journey on this page, right? Unless it's a business promotion, we try to keep it candid. We try to gather amazing stories from all across our state and we try to portray it so more and more readers can capture the essence of someone else's life.
Okay, audiences, any question? Dhruvi or Nikita? You can write in the chat box or you can ask directly. Yes, no question from them. So how do you motivate your team to work for you, or how do you manage your members to work efficiently?
Right. So the biggest advantage that I have is my team is very much self-motivated. Komal, Divya, Ketul, all of those guys are very, very self-motivated to do this. And I'm very proud of the fact that, they are able to manage their studies, curriculum alongside these things and their daily schedule. So that's one thing. And we try to keep bi-weekly catch ups where we discuss what's in the pipeline, what's the planning. We try to cover stories. We try to have fun meetups whenever possible. So, that keeps it going. That keeps the vibe in a culture going.
Okay, audience, any question? I guess no question. So are you planning to expand it beyond Gujarat, or is it only for people of Gujarat?
To be very honest, as of now, we haven't thought of expansion out of Gujarat, but maybe someday we'll even reach that stage too.
But someday, for example, if you decide to, expand it out of Gujarat, then don't you think that you have to change the name, because Glimmers of Gujarat means only for Gujarati people?
Of course. That's where brand revamp will come in. But yeah, that's a long shot as of now. We are trying to cover, because Gujarat itself has so many wonderful stories. So we'll try to cover that first.
Can you share some of the stories?
Well, one of my personal favorites is Suruchi. I am taking her name because she is an absolute delight and inspiration to us. I had the chance to interview her. What a life journey she has. Like, everybody can take inspiration from that. She was detected with cancer at a very young age. She was in her 18 and 19 years old, and she was detected by cancer, life-threatening disease. And she was going to college and she suddenly fell down, and she felt that she's subconscious. She lost her consciousness. She was taken to hospital, and then they detected that it is not something by a heat stroke kind of thing. It's a big disease like cancer. And then her chemotherapy, different checkups, visiting to doctors started. She was so keen towards her life. Doctor said that she wouldn't survive more than 6 months. Imagine somebody telling that you are not going to live after 6 months. She was so critical, and her life motivation was so huge that she passed her entire college. She left her home, she's from Surat. She left her home. She went to Ahmedabad, pursued her master's. She's back in Surat. She's having a full life. She has a husband. She is planning on a kids, I suppose. She is into plantation drives. Her motive for living is, if I can live, everybody should. And to live, we need oxygen. We must plant trees. She runs huge plantation drives. She is an mind-blowing person. She has outlived more than years one can imagine, and she's fit and fine from God's grace. And it has been an absolute motivation. How you can even imagine somebody, just the mere factor was willpower. You can have that willpower with you, and you can outlive anything that God can make for you, good or bad.
Desire. You can.
Desire. Very true.
Yes. So when you started out as a startup, did you, took help from any mentors, or did you did everything by yourself? Were there any mentors to guide you?
No, I initially started out by myself. I and Dhruvi, we work together things, we take it up to another level. I had a couple of colleagues in the startup arena. We used to discuss, they used to share ideas, vagera, vagera, but not much of mentorship kind of thing.
Okay, so no mentor. So don't you think that without any mentors, you can make a lot of mistakes? Because mentors are those who are, experienced startup founders who can guide budding entrepreneurs. So don't you think that without mentor, a particular person can make a lot of mistakes in running a startup?
Well, it's on your personal capabilities. So speaking about me, I have been in this area for 4.5 years now. I have started 2 ideas. I have been mentor myself. I have run various hackathons. So when you're being in the space, you understand the working, you understand the ecosystem. But on the other hand, when you are a newbie, you want to get into this area, when you want to explore the world, you're a very fresh minded person. It's always good to have a mentor. I always suggest that. I'm always in a favor of having a mentor, somebody like-minded, somebody who can help you guide through your journey, right? So that will help a lot in terms of building your own capabilities, getting on a next level stage quicker and smartly. So mentor is always something that will help you to grow better.
Okay, audience, any question? Dhruvi, Saif Ansari, or Sarthak, any question you want to ask? You can write in the chat box. Okay, so speaking about mentors, so how do you think a particular budding entrepreneur can find a mentor? Because mentors are also busy people. So how do you think they can convince them to help?
Right. So there are various ways to go about it, right? So you can, first of all, you can figure out your own niche. You can understand your requirements. Why you need a mentor is something that you should jot down in your initial stage. So having a mentor just for the sake of name is not very helpful. So having a mentor that will actually help you to grow in your niche, that will be something that will be icing on the cake. So if you're in a technology department, if you have a tech product, then having a tech savvy guy with you who has 10 years experience is definitely more valuable than having your father or anybody else who's not in that area to help you scale, because they know what's the market's need, what the market needs are, how you can scale in this market, and how to go about it.
So how can you convince that person to help you? Because if you just ask that I am starting a startup, please guide me, they won't guide you. They're also busy people. So how do you convince them?
Well, there's always sales strategy for that. You should be good with speaking. You should be equipped with the right things. It's always a barter. It's not something that somebody will be willing to do. Today's world is not like that. You have to offer them something in return that's helpful to them as well. So just try and think of something that you can help out them with. If you can bring them as your co-founders on the plate, if you can do something for them in return, if you can provide your product that's helpful for them or their company, Such sort of things can always help somebody make more interested to get in your niche and help you as well.
So can you repeat what can you give them in return? I mean, what offer can you give them?
Right. So on the top of my head, I guess you can offer them to become your co-founders with your space. You can offer your own product to them, whatever it is, whatever niche is it. You can, maybe it can help in their companies. You can offer them something kind of trade-off, or else you can have great pitching skills and get them on board for free.
Okay.
So that's your calling.
So one more thing that you see nowadays in YouTube, a lot of motivational videos says that in order to become an entrepreneur, you have to work 16 to 18 hours a day. That's how you can build a business. So when you were starting out as a entrepreneur, when you were starting out on Glimmers of Gujarat, did you really work for so many hours, like 18 hours a day, or did you took some break in between?
Not for Glimmers of Gujarat, but on other ideas, I had the opportunity to work for long hours. It's honestly, it's your passion, it's your calling. When you have that thing, okay, I want to grow this thing. This is my baby. I want to grow this, and then there are no number of hours that will stop you. It's not like you have a 9 to 5. It's your thing. You're not doing it for someone else, so you never see the count of hours. So when people say you work for 18 hours, that is true, because you're passionate about something. I'm just coming from a startup meetup event where I got to meet a lot of founders, a lot of people in the startup area from our locality as well. So people are crazy about their things because it's their product, it's their baby. So yeah, I believe in that theory, but of course it's not necessary to work for 18 hours to be in the startup area. That's kind of out of the way.
Okay. Okay, audience, any question? Anyone? Anyone, any question? Dhruvi, Avi, or Sarthak? So apart from Glimmers of Gujarat, do you have any other startup idea in mind, or do you think you would continue with full scale?
Not right now. I had couple of them. They keep coming and going. I have my notebook. I keep noting. If I have something, maybe we can launch it someday.
Okay, so one more thing that as I know that you are still pursuing your college degree. So after college, do you wish to give full commitment to Glimmers of Gujarat, or do you think that you can do it part time?
Yeah, I'll be working both ways. I have an full-time role offered to me. I'll be pursuing that as well as Glimmers of Gujarat, because I manage time well. It's not a problem for me. I have a very good team that's helping me handle both the things. So yeah, it's doable when you want it.
But don't you think that if, for example, if you give 50% to Glimmers of Gujarat and 50% to any other job, so don't you think that in that case, if you give 100% to Glimmers of Gujarat full time without any backup, so don't you think that would help to grow that business more?
It's personally, to me, it's about time management, and it's not about giving your full time. It's just for the sake of showing that I am fully committed to this thing. People manage shifts. People manage morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift. I personally know people who are daytime driver and nighttime watchman. That fellow, when does he even sleep? So people do things when they're passionate about something, they want something. That fellow's driving is money. Our driving is our callings are different, but yeah, when you want to pursue something, you can manage things well.
So what is the most important skill an entrepreneur need, do you think, in order to become an entrepreneur? What is the more important skill set?
To me, creativity in the current scenario is very important, because when you talk about a software product, you'll find hundreds of them. If you have something unique, people copy it very instantly. If you're creative in your own niche, it's not easy to get there, and you are a standalone person. It's very unique who you are in the market. You don't have your competition, and that's how you can scale up very fast.
And one more thing that I have heard is that in order to be a businessman and entrepreneur, one need to be a very good salesperson. But selling a product, I mean, no, selling is a very tough job. It is not for everyone. So, for example, if a person is not so good in sales, so do you think he won't be able to become an entrepreneur?
No, absolutely not. You can always hire a fellow.
But you have to pay money to him.
Of course you do. You lack a skill, you pay for the skill.
Okay. So for hiring team members, how do you think that an entrepreneur should hire his team members or hire his employee? What are the qualities they should look for in their employees?
Right. So it depends on the role that you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody in the role of creative designing, right, UI UX designer, you should always look how different they can think, what kind of amusement they bring to the table, right? If you're hiring for a sales role, if you're hiring for a marketing role, you should always look how well the person is speaking. You know how he's good with people, how he's good with talking, how good they are with working when it comes to real communications and everything. Now the virtual thing is shifting to real life. You should always observe that as well. So it depends to role what kind of hiring you're doing. Hiring team members is a very crucial thing, because hire and fire is not a play. It takes time, it takes effort from both the ends. So you should always look for good team members who are cooperative, supportive. These are common skills that you should always look out for.
So for you, when you hire people, do you hire based on their degrees or do you hire based on their attitude or skills?
Degrees never. Degrees is outdated now. Nobody cares
Yes.
about degrees anymore.
So you don't
When we
hire based
started,
on degrees, right?
no, not at all, not at all.
Great. That is
We hire based on your previous work, your caliber, what kind of things you bring to the table. Personally, for me, I love freshers. I want people who have a learning mindset. I will be more than willing to teach them, give them courses that they can learn from. That's okay with me. But I want people with a learning mindset who are open to learn and share and bring their ideas to table, a different approach, who don't come with a clumsy mindset, a preset mindset. These things should happen this way only. Why not that way? This is what I personally like to bring at Glimmers, or in general as well.
So coming to what you said that you love to hire fresher. For example, if you hire a fresher and he is not so good in his particular role, so don't you think it would take a lot of time to teach him? On the other hand, if you hire an experienced person, you don't need to teach him so much. He can do it very well without any mistake. So what's your opinion about that?
Right. I personally believe that you should always hire based on the role, the importance of role, right? So in my personally for Glimmers of Gujarat, we were starting out new, we are still new, and we are trying to help students also make the most of this experience. I have a very good teammate, Divya, and she's handling the calling, she's handling pitching to people, overall management, and she was a fresher. She is a fresher. She's still in her third year of college, and she's doing a fabulous job with managing things. But that's where I come in. I taught her during her tenure. I kept teaching her, you should do it this way, you should do it this way, and she was more than happy to learn. She doesn't have a fixed mindset that no, I know that should be done this way only. Why are you telling me not to do this like this? So that is something that I personally love. Again, coming to your question, if it's a very crucial role, suppose you're in a big organization and you're hiring for a position of senior developer, or you're hiring for a global sales representative, something like that, then of course that's where experience kicks in. You cannot hire a fresher and tell them that you have 7 people team to lead, you have 40 people under you to manage, right? That is not how things work. So again, it's very, very role based. What kind of what kind of role they're playing in your company, your work. So it depends on that.
So do you think that this kind of mindset that hiring freshers and teaching them because they have a learning attitude, this kind of mindset should be adopted by all the organizations? Because right now there are a lot of people who are struggling to get a job just because most of the organization won't hire freshers. So do you think this kind of mindset should be adopted by all organizations to hire freshers?
Well, personally, it's a very contradictive question. but I'm not sure for all the organizations. But yeah, the startups should definitely do it, because in the startup world, you need creativity. You need that change of pace, that rapid learning thing. You need network. That is what freshers can bring in. You know, that is something that we all can look forward to.
So coming to startup, what is the difference between a startup job and a corporate job, according to you?
Well, there's no shaming in either of them. In corporate, you are 9 to 5, you're working for someone else, but there's again a calling, right? There's money to make in there. Startup is something, it's not for everyone. Anybody coming with an entrepreneurial mindset is something who can start and run a startup, because it takes a lot of effort. It's not like you think an idea and you execute it after waking up the first thing in the morning. It doesn't go that way. It's months, it's years of efforts, time, everything goes into it. And not everybody wants to do it, and not everybody can do it, and it's absolutely all right as well. So corporate has its own benefits, startup has its own benefits as well. There's no comparison on either of them.
According to me, I guess in startup, you the amount you get is low, but you can get more experience and more learning in compared to corporate job. Because in startup, you are joining a budding company, a growing company, so you can learn a lot. But in
That's
corporate,
true.
it is a you can lead a fixed lifestyle, a fixed salary.
Very true.
Yes. Okay, audience, any question? Ruby or Sarthak, anything you want to ask? You can ask right now. So I guess you are founder of LinkedIn community also, right?
Yeah,
I
like
am
I
in the
have.
group too, LinkedIn community, right? I guess you are the founder. So can you tell something about that thing also, LinkedIn community? What is it about? What are you trying to build?
So I post about marketing, sales, different kind of human resource activities over LinkedIn. I have my personal brand. I help students build their resume profiles and optimize their LinkedIn's also. So I started this LinkedIn community, I guess, a while ago. It's been maybe 7, 8 odd months. And it's basically a community of people coming together who post on LinkedIn, who share their ideas, who are like-minded ones. We come together, we share our posts. It's basically an engagement model kind of thing, help each other grow.
So can you explain about that personal branding thing? I mean, how can you help people to grow their personal brand on LinkedIn? How do you do that?
So, well, there are two things. I help individuals grow by optimizing their LinkedIn profile. If you're looking out for a job or a career or somebody to hire, anyways. So, there are ways to go, and LinkedIn is a beautiful platform to leverage. So, how to optimize your profile in order to get noticed by more recruiters? How to search on LinkedIn so that you can apply to the right job that gives you right amount of money in terms of experience as everything. So there are ways to go about it, and these are not very open. There are tips and tricks that I can help students with. I have helped over 80 students so far, and the count is growing. So I take one-on-one sessions for them. I also help students and working professionals both build their resumes as well, resume and CVs, so they can apply for better and nicer jobs. I take up businesses and convert them to brands. I help them grow
You take up?
into branding solutions. I take up businesses and try and convert them to brands, right? So I provide an entire branding solution from your sales strategy, marketing strategy, to your social media partners. How should you go about it? Different kind of things that you can do to engage audience, all those stuff.
And how much do you charge for them?
It's very variable. Everything depends on what kind of package you're getting into. So it starts from 100 rupees and it goes up to oddly 5 6 thousand rupees, depending on what kind of services you are availing.
So do you believe that LinkedIn is the future resume? Like before we used to get paper resume. So do you believe that LinkedIn is the future of building your resume, online resume?
LinkedIn is the today of building your resume. It's just people are not very aware of it, but it's already a very hyped market.
Yes. So, for example, if I post something on LinkedIn, so how do you think this can help to grow my personal brand? For example, if I post something interesting every day consistently on LinkedIn profile, so how do you think it can help me grow my personal brand?
Well, people see you every day. People know that there is some Aritra out there existing. People know what kind of things you like to talk about. People know you have an expertise in the same. So, yeah, that's pretty much what personal brand is.
Okay, so I guess anything else you want to add, Divya?
That's it from my side.
Okay. Great. So anyway, Divya, thank you for joining. I would be ending it now. I guess audience has no more question today. So thank you for joining, Divya. It was a
Thank
great
you,
session.
Aritra. It was very nice
Yes,
speaking to you.
yes, yes. It was a great session. I would send you the recording. Okay.
Sure.
After
Thank you,
posting
guys.
it on YouTube. Okay. Good night.
Good night.